Hola, hello, bonsoir, ni hao, anyan. I hope you're having a wonderful night. It's been a it's been over a month since I played TFT, so I'm a little rusty. But let's see if I can take the rust off the wheels and hit Emerald tonight. I peaked Emerald 2 on the last set. That's my highest rank. And hopefully I can get Emerald 4 tonight, if God willing. Or, at least I'd be happy if I hit Plat 1, considering that I'm so rusty. I haven't played in such a long time, so hopefully the games aren't too rough. I was just watching a broadcast, a Congress hearing about MK Ultra. How the CIA used they used to perform experiments on unwilling and maybe some willing human subjects, where they used mind-altering substances such as LSD and cannabis and all that kind of stuff. And they paired that with different kinds of mind control, hypnosis, and that kind of thing to influence people's behaviors. And it was really interesting. It was about an hour and a half, and it confirmed a lot of the things that I would have suspected over the years. And obviously, they're always going to throw. These people are never going to answer questions in a straightforward fashion, or they might get in trouble, or they might get silenced, aka unalived, or worse. But it was really interesting how they basically, they just continue to confirm that this stuff happens, and that it may be even still be in use today in the media, and from the algorithms that recommend us uh, content on YouTube and social media to even TV and movies and all that kind of stuff. It's best not to talk too much about it, or I'm gonna end up on a list if I'm not in one already. Anyway, I just want to live a peaceful life, so hopefully they don't care about anything that I have to say about it, which isn't much. Actually, they have a lot to say about it, but I'm just not going to. I just think it's really interesting, and we should all be very mindful about the content that we consume, regardless of whether or not there's ill intentions behind it. Especially for those of us that have children. Well, I mean, I don't have children, but for those of you that have children, be very mindful, because even cartoons have a lot of hidden messages that sometimes you don't realize are there until you're much older, right? And you realize that there was a lot of adult comedy and sarcasm and satire sprinkled all over our favorite childhood cartoons and our favorite anime. And a lot of it is harmless, I think. I would dare say a lot of it is just harmless satire, but not always. So be mindful, take care of your mind and your body. Healthy body, healthy mind. So don't stop going to the gym, don't stop working out. I work out at home. So, and I usually do it while listening to positive content, maybe some news every now and then. Anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Let's go ahead and start up the game. And I'll try to do like a play-by-play, like my reasoning and my thoughts behind what I'm doing in the game. So if you don't know how to play TFT, if you're new, maybe you'll pick up something along the way. I'm by no means am I an expert, although I would love to hit high rank, and I love to watch educational content and some of the best TFT players out there. Uh, some of my favorite streamers are, let's see, there's Catawin, who is very often at least GM, and was it Emily? I don't remember their names off the top of my head. I'm sure I'll remember them at some point. Riveting, Catawin. I think those are the ones that I've watched the most. Not that I've watched like that much, but a few hours. Oh, and DP on YouTube, I watched him a lot. He's very good and he's very educational. He does a lot of play-by-play videos, and I learned a lot from all of them. So yeah, I'll do the play-by-play, and we can keep learning and improving together, because that's what life is all about, isn't it? We learn from our mistakes, and the ones that we can't correct, we try not to repeat, and we try to redeem ourselves for them. I'm still learning how to redeem myself from some of them, and how to ask for forgiveness and show repentance to the people that I owe forgiveness to. But that's part of life. As long as you don't forget to, as long as you are mindful and you don't forget to make a habit out of that, then you'll likely get to where you need to go without too many enemies. Too many. So whether we'd like to or not, we're always going to have people that want to cause us harm. Whether it's justified or not. Most of the time, I dare say it's not. But who knows? Who knows? So be good. And remember that even if you lose, you win if you never lose the lesson. Which is why I never lose. Kappa. So when you get Soraka as the god, the goddess, it's a good chance to play Anima, since in order for Anima to give you any kind of value, you have to lose, you're going to lose a bunch of health. Since it doesn't offer any kind of combat benefits or econ until you lose at least like 3 or at least like 6, 7 or 8 times. At least about 6 times. So you're gonna lose a bunch of health trying to build up a board with Anima. So when Soraka's the goddess, it's a good moment to play Anima if you're offered it, since you'll get a little bit of extra health to make up for the fact that you're gonna be losing a lot. So here I got the Jinx, so I could hold on to this Jinx for that same reason. I also already have 2 meeples, so I would probably just start. I need a tank, so I'm gonna buy this Gragas, you know, just in case, worst case scenario, I don't get offered any other good tanks. Maybe I should have bought the Aatrox, because since I have 2 meeple already, I can play Poppy here if I find her, and play 2 Bastions. So let's go ahead and buy this Aatrox. Now, since I have Anvils, I can pretty much gear up any unit I want. Vigor is a really good early game carry, so, and I have a bunch of items already, so I'm thinking, yeah, I'm gonna go with this augment. And I'm going to see, well, I was hoping to find Poppy, but I didn't, so I'm just going to hold on to these for now, and I'm going to build some Vigor items here. So this is a pretty good start. If I had a 2-star Gnar, I would have probably, I would have built items for him. Although, maybe not, because Vigor might be a, he might be a one-star unit, I mean a 1 cost, but he's pretty strong, especially if I'm going to build Meeple. He scales decently well. So here I get offered another Jinx. I'm going to hold on to her for the same reason that I mentioned earlier, since Soraka's in the game. If I find a, what's her name, an Aurora, I can just give Aurora my Vigor items and just go Anima. So I'll hold on to her for now. Okay, that's unfortunate. I'm surprised we lost that, honestly. But oh well. So let's see. I'm seeing if I can enable any of my units here. I can't really. Maybe I can play Samira and power up the Gnar a little bit, but I don't think it's worth it. I think I'd rather have a stronger front line here, so because I do have a good carry, I just need my front line to stay alive long enough for him to get a couple casts off. And I could sell to get 1 gold of interest here, but I'm going to opt for buying these units instead. I have a Mordekaiser, so I can So I have one Vanguard, and I found 2 copies of Nasus. So if I find Nasus 2, I could maybe play a Vanguard frontline, which is especially good since I haven't found a Poppy yet. I'm going to pick Soraka because I need tank items anyway. Oh, and here's Aurora, so that's interesting. I'm going to go for the Panth, and the reason for that is I can play Replicator to power up my Vigar, and then I'm going to go ahead and play this Poppy. I could level here. Yeah, let's do this. So this is probably the strongest board I can make for now. I want to give... Well, I think I would give Morello to my Vigar. That's probably the best option. Okay, so now that I have an idea, now that I have a good board, it's all falling into place, then I can start selling units that I know I'm probably not going to use. So I'm going to get rid of most of these. I'm still going to keep the Jinx because there's a chance I can still use her. I'm going to go ahead and give Vigar 3 items. Morello is pretty good on him, and it's also pretty good on Aurora. So if I end up playing anima units later, well, regardless of what caster I choose to play, this is a pretty good set of items for them. So I'm going to buy this Rost as well for the same reason. If I end up, I would probably play 7 Meeple if I could, but in the meantime, Rost will help me make whatever random board I have into something decent. So here, I'll go ahead and keep Pantheon. This is probably the strongest board I can make for now, so let's just play into this for now. In PvE rounds you don't get interest, so I don't have to worry about how much gold I have yet. Okay, this is really strong. So here I could consider playing... this over the Pantheon. Or, let me see. Let me think about this. This is a good tank item regardless. I'm going to hold on to this for a moment while I think about this. I don't need that. I can lean into the Voyeur synergy since I found this mech. I'm probably not going to go for a... I already have a 2-star Aatrox. I don't really care about 3-starring him. Okay. So... let's think about this. Let's think about this for a moment. I have have a decently strong board. I already picked an econ augment. So since I already have a decent board and I have a good carry, I could opt for a combat augment. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm going to play some warriors here. And I'm going to get rid of the poppy in favor of powering up my mighty mech. I'm going to buy this Aurora, and I would also buy this Gragas. The question is, do I sell? Think about this. I might lose this one. Well, that was close. Close enough. Okay, so here I find the anima. I'm already on a loss streak, so I'm just going to lean into that, which was one of my plans in the first place. And I'm going to go ahead and play into the warrior anima synergy that I have going. And I can pass these items on to my Aurora. This might still be a weaker board than what I had before, but since I have a loss streak anyway, I might as well try to make the most of it. And if I keep losing, I'll get a good anima cash out earlier into the game. Maybe around 4-2 if I keep losing. So by the time I get my next augment, I'll have to decide. Well, at this point I'm probably locked into this comp actually. Alright, so here I'll go ahead and take the Soraka boon, which gives me health, so I can better play the anima comp that I have in mind. So we'll make up for some of the health that we've lost. I'm probably going to roll for a... Well, depending on the cash out that I get, depending on how the game goes, I'll have to either cash out at 200 or 300. And I have to be able to build at least a good item on Jinx, because if I end up finding her anima weapon, then I can try to use her as many late game carry. Especially because Aurora's anima weapon is terrible. Like, I don't know what y'all think, but I think that Aurora's anima weapon is the worst one. By a lot. I think even Briar's is better. But anyway, let's see how it goes. I'm going to avoid buying any more champions. Actually, I shouldn't have bought this actually, because I'm not making use of patience as a virtue. So since I already know who my carries and my tanks are going to be, I'm just gonna play anima. Then I don't need to store any other champions on my bench, pretty much. So I'll make the most out of this offland. Well, this is interesting. Okay. Gosh, this item is always... It's always hilarious. Doesn't matter who you put this on. It always ends up doing something crazy. And most of the time. Okay, so... I have more warrior synergy, I have some challenger synergy. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and level, and let's see. This is pretty good. Now I need to start rolling for my carries. I already bought some units here, so I'm going to roll down a bit. I could consider playing this ASOL, but I'm probably not going to. Okay. Okay. So this board isn't awful. I have an econ augment and this is kind of an item and a combat augment at the same time, but I'm probably going to stay at level 7 for a while, and I need to roll, so I can either get more items to enable more carries, or I can get another combat augment. I'm going to opt for items, and there's a couple of reasons for that, but one reason is this. I need a tread. Well, I need a thunder, and I also need... Hold on. And I also need shred, but I'll have to think about how I'm going to achieve that. Unfortunately, my 2-star Aurora ended up in my bench. Having my 2-star Aurora on the field could have made a difference there, but that was just my mistake. And also, since I'm speaking over the gameplay, I'm not paying as much attention as I should. So I'm going to go ahead and swap out the Aurora I have on my bench for the one I have on the field. I'm considering getting rid of the Challenger trade in favor of another warrior, but that's probably bad. So I'll get rid of this Pike instead, and then now basically I'm just rolling down to 3-star my units. 3-star Aurora, 2-star the Mac hopefully soon, and considering no one's playing, well, let's see, is anyone playing Ilawi? This guy has 3 Ilawis, this guy has 3 more. So I'm probably not going to 3-star Ilawi, so I'd be happy if I just 3-star the Aurora and then get level 8. Hopefully I get a good cash out here from the anima. Okay, so since I'm losing a lot and I need to start winning, I'm going to take the guaranteed combat augment. A Fiora. Well, I could. I'm going to take this Fiora because she's probably better than Ilaoi. Ooh, okay, wait. So, okay, it's a tough choice. I could. I'm going to risk it, and I'm going to try and get a better cash out. So, and I'm going to swap out. No, let's not do that yet. Let's not do that yet. Okay. No matter what, I'm going to roll down, whether I win or lose this, to try and hit the 3-star Aurora, because I have to be able to turn this board into a winning board if I want to at least hit fourth place at this point. So let's focus on that for a moment. Okay. I don't want to use these items because I can try turning these into better items for my Fiora. Okay. Okay. So I have to cash out now no matter what. Let's see. These items aren't terrible. Okay. So I'm going to wait until I see the anima cash out before I do anything else. Okay, so this isn't very good, but it's still a 3-star Briar, which is probably better than... Wait. Okay. It's probably still better than... Hold on. It's probably still better than the... Jinx. Not good enough, unfortunately. Even with the 3-star aura. I think that the problem here is that I took way too long to roll for my carries. I should have rolled down for Aurora 3 earlier. Jinx isn't doing very good, so I almost want to swap her out for... I almost want to swap her out for... Fiora, but... Anyway, I don't think we're going to get very far. Unfortunately, I could have played this better. Like, I had the right idea, going for the anima comp with the Soraka boon. Okay, wait. Maybe there's hope. Let's see. I'm dead last, but maybe I can turn this into a winning board somehow. I can at least 5th place, right? And also, I didn't build Shred, so my strongest carry has to deal with the enemy tanks having a bunch of magic resistance. Yeah, I think that might be game. Unless I get a big crit here. I doubt it. Maybe if I didn't get stunned. Alright, well. Let's just chalk that one up to me being a little rusty. So here's another Soraka. I could try to play Anima again just to see if I can pilot it better. It is one of my favorite comps. What I don't like about it is that it doesn't offer you anything tailored to the board that you have. So sometimes you end up with items such as the Briar item, which is honestly not that good. I should have taken the Illaoi one, even if I didn't have Illaoi 3. Illaoi 2 with that item is pretty deadly. So, you know, let's assume that maybe I can hit. Arbiters are really good synergy anyway, so... And it pairs really well with Anima, so... I'll keep this Leona. and go from there. I'll take this Rek'Sai since I have a Briar. I can also go for some kind of Primordian synergy with these two. I'm getting offered a bunch of Nova units, so I could consider that too. Yeah, I'll buy all these Nova units. Okay, so I'm getting offered tank item. Price Fighter is pretty decent. No scout, no pivot. It could be interesting if I lean into this Nova synergy that's going on, or the Primordian, but I don't feel comfortable with that. I'm going to take this, try to take advantage of the fact that I have a decent frontline tank already. I don't have enough gold to gain any interest, so I'm just going to hold on to all these units. In the early game, it's especially good to hold on to some of these stray units that you find in case you find a good opportunity to pivot into a better comp. But with all these Leonas, it looks like it's just going to be an Arbiter game. Arbiter, Vanguard, and into something else. I'm not sure yet what that is. I want to buy this Nasus, so I think I will go ahead and sell some of these. I'll hold on to this Nasus for the Vanguard synergy to enable Leona. Look at that, even without the synergy, she's still kicking their asses. Alright, I can't gain interest anyway, so I'll hold on to these units. I probably should have held on to the Akali, but it's okay. It's not a huge deal. Okay, so I could enable the Vanguard synergy here. I want to try and enable Arbiter as soon as I can, but I can't yet, so let's just hold on to these. I kind of want to play this instead of the Rek'Sai, just because he doesn't offer much combat power. And I'll sell these other units that I know I'm not going to use to stay above 10 and get a little bit of interest. Might end up losing. Actually, no. So fielding the victor here was the right play, because it made my board strong enough to beat this guy. If I had the Rek'Sai in there, I would have lost this for sure. Okay, so I have a lot of health already. I'm pretty close to a Leona 3, so I'm just going to take the... Hold on here. Yeah, I'll just take the free rerolls. And I'll try to hit this Leo 3 as soon as I possibly can, and maybe pick up a Zoe along the way, hopefully. Okay, so here I could play 3 Primordians. I'm not sure if I want to. I'll go ahead and give it a try. To see if I can find some extra copies of Leona, so it might make my board a little bit weaker momentarily. But if it helps me find Leona 3 sooner, then oh, good. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Here's some anima units. I think after what happened last game, I don't think I want to play anima again. I might still hold on to these, but I'm not terribly excited about it. Nasus isn't a very good tank anyway, so I'll just hold on to these anima units for now. So I can still go into the Arbiter anima comp, but considering how well I'm doing and how close I am to Briar 3, I might just stick with the Primordians. I'm looking around to see if there's anyone else playing Primordians, which there are, but it shouldn't be an obstacle for me to at least find Briar 3, since there's so many copies of her. Okay, so since I'm really close to Leona 3, I'm going to opt for rolling for her now. Ooh, okay, I missed the Zoe, that's fine. Okay. So, looks like I will be going for the Primordians here. So I wanted to roll for Leona and Briar here because at level 4, as opposed to level 5, you have a significantly higher chance of finding a 1-cost units. Okay, little buddies I could consider, because even though I don't have any 4 or 5 costs yet, if I play Primordian, or if I play the 3 Primordians and 2 Arbiters, whatever forecast I end up fielding, they're going to be pretty strong, but that's kind of a long-term thing, so it doesn't make my board stronger now, which I kind of need. So I'm going to take Epoch just because. Hold on here. I'm going to take the Armor Magic Resist one because I don't, so I can make my Leona stronger. And eventually I'm going to give, I can give these items to Diana, and she would also benefit from the Armor Magic Resist. I could have opted for the gold too, but I'm already generating gold from Epoch and from Primordian. Okay, so I'm going to keep rolling, take advantage of the free rerolls to try and find a Leona 3 finally. I might roll quite a bit here. I almost want to keep rolling. Well, I probably should not have kept rolling, but yeah, I probably should have stopped, but so I gambled it on finding the Leo 3. Now I definitely can't roll at all, or I'm going to be really behind on gold. If this was a higher ELO, it probably would have, that could have cost me the whole game. And in fact, it may as well have cost me the whole game here. But you know, we're learning. Okay. I could use another tank item. And let's see. I could use Tom Kench later on. So I either play another Visage or I play another Warmog. Or I play a Warmog. I think I'll do the Warmog. And I'll do okay. I should have used this on Leona. Hopefully that doesn't cost me. Well, this guy's board looks pretty weak, so I should be fine. I don't want to sell Tam, even though it would give me more interest. Wow. I somehow lost this, that's interesting. Well, this guy has 2 combat augments, so it kind of makes sense that I lose that. Okay. So here I'm going to bite the bullet, and I'm just going to level to play Mord and go ahead and triple the Leona. This is the strongest board I can make right now. Maybe I'll give this tier to Zoe for now. Since I'm losing a lot of health, I'm just trying to, if I keep losing, at least lose as few health as possible. It looks like leveling here was the right play, so... So I can finally start winning. Okay, finding this kindred here is interesting. This Rouse could be good too. I could just sit on this board and level to 7 and then play either the Diana or the Tamkenchi. Let's buy this. Let's buy the Kindred. Let's hold on to that. Just considering whether or not I can do anything useful with her. Okay, so I can make some decent items here. Let's see. So I could, this is pretty good for a potential Diana carry, so why don't I give these to Briar for now. And then later I can give those to maybe a Diana if I end up rolling for her. Maybe even a LeBlanc, although since I chose the MR, since I chose the resistance arbiter power, it would be a lot better on Diana. I don't have any... Okay, so I have a decent board. I already have an Econ Augment, and I don't have a Combat Augment, so ideally I want to get a Combat Augment here. If I'm going to play Diana, Blast Cannon might not be it. I don't have any burn on my board, so Sunfire board might be the one. So now I don't have to worry about building Sunfire Cape or anything like that on my units. I can just focus on I can just focus on rolling for my strongest units. I'm holding onto this giant spell because I'm not sure if I want to just land this on a tank. It probably won't make too big of a difference. So maybe I can turn it into an item for LeBlanc or Zoe later. And I have a couple choices here, so I can either staying on level 6 is a bad idea. So I'm just going to hope that this board gets me through the next 3 rounds well enough, while I have enough gold to level and play the Leo and play the Diana. I could consider just playing her now since she's much better than Briar. Maybe if I had Leo 3. So for now I'm just going to save my gold. I'm considering selling the Tam to buy the Zoe. Just in case I find enough Zoe copies to do Zoe 3, but it's probably not worth it. It's probably not very good. See, so right here, the Briar is such a I'm losing because I don't have a good enough carry. Briar 3 is just awful. So let's see. I need gold. But I also need the combat power. I could take the gold and just level here. And let's see. Yeah, I'll take the gold. So I'll go so I can level. And I can hopefully find Leo 3 here. Oh, this is interesting. I mean Leo 2. Okay, now we give her the best items I have. I'm giving Void Staff to Zoe so she can do Diana the favor of shredding. And hopefully she stays alive long enough. Ooh, she didn't. This might be a positioning issue though. Since I'm losing so hard, and I'm nowhere close to being level 8, I might have to just stay at this level. Unfortunately, these Primordial units are kind of useless right now. So I'm trying to decide if I even want to keep them around or not. Okay. Okay, I don't need burn. Maybe I should have kept the... I want to take these. Maybe I should have kept the... Gosh, I almost want to sell. I almost want to get rid of this Briar. She's so bad. Let's do this for now. So I could turn this into a... and get rid of Zoe later in favor of a LeBlanc. I should have kept the one I had here. That's my bad. I shouldn't have been so quick to pre-sell. Wow, that is a chunky... That is a chunky Maokai with just 2 items. Well, it's not looking very good. Okay, so... It's really... It's like I'm falling behind pretty hard here. I'm pretty close to Zoe. So I'm just going to bet on finding her and hoping that she can carry me. Unfortunately, I did not find her. I'm going to slam this into one of my tanks here just to see if I can live through this round. I think my problem is that I have the right idea, but I think I'm playing too slow. Right, like I could have rolled for Zoe or Diana much earlier into the game. Let's see, so this guy has 6 copies of Diana. I think I still just stick to the idea of trying to 3-star this Zoe as soon as I can. The Primordial Synergy is kind of useless at this point, so I'm just going to opt for improving my board a bit. Ergo is a better unit, and he gives me more order. Oh, that's awful. Well, that's rough. Alright, well, that's still progress. Somewhat, right? 'Cause I got that's the last game. Okay, hold on. I'm going to take a quick break. And I'm going to grab a snack. Maybe something with some protein. And maybe some chocolate. So I'll be back in a moment. Oh wait, have I been muted this whole time? Gosh dang it. Okay, so anyway, I'm back. I brought some protein shake on my Naruto cup, which I haven't even finished. I haven't even finished the whole show yet. And this is protein shake. Put a little bit of, it's almond protein, Bob's Red Mill, whatever it's called, Bob's. I think it's Bob's Red Mill. It's the only one they had at the supermarket, so it's almond protein, which is particularly good because it has a lot of fiber on it. Because one thing about protein powders is that most of them don't have much fiber, if at all, so it doesn't do your digestive system any favors. But this one's really good. It tastes a little bit like almonds. It's almost like some kind of almond flour, almost like ground up almonds, and it has some fiber in it. It gives everything a little bit of a nutty flavor. It's called me the Nutty Professor. Minus 200 pounds or however much. So if I keep eating like this, I might, you know, my moobs, my man boobs are already showing. So if I keep eating this much and I don't exercise like I should, I might end up being the actual Nutty Professor one day. Who knows? Great movie, by the way. Anything with Eddie Murphy in it, it's usually pretty funny, if you ask me. Anyway. So yes, almond protein, some milk, some cinnamon powder, and some sugar. Splenda, of course. Not gonna catch me using straight sugar. If I do, it would be brown sugar though. But they're just really good. Splenda sugar blends, like 50% sugar, 50% Splenda, which is really tasty. And it's kind of the best of both worlds, since you don't get as much of the insulin spike, and you also don't get as much of the negative, I guess, well, if you believe in that, right, that Splenda is bad for you. Which, let's be honest, it might be. At the very least, it's not that good for your digestive system and your gut flora, from the research that I've seen. And anything that affects your gut flora is usually pretty... Hold on, let me think about this for a moment. I mean, I could just slam this on here. let's try to find something good. Well, I'm taking this just because it's the most flexible item. Since I'm not sure, I don't really have like a good build going yet. I'm not sure what I'm going to, what my board's gonna end up looking like. So I can use that on any carry, and it should be decent. So. Okay. So looks like I'll end up building something like this. This might be the best board I can come up with right now. So you usually want to try to build, whatever's the strongest board you can build right now, while spending the least amount of gold possible, to try to keep your income above the different thresholds so that you can get more interest. So the best board I can build right now, spending the least amount of money, spending the least amount of gold, and you put your best items on your best units. Okay. I don't plan on using any of these units, but most of all I don't plan on using the Kate. So I'll sell that to stay above 10 gold for some interest. And I'm going to place my Pantheon by himself on the front row to make the most out of the Gargoyle Stoneplate, since he gets more resistances the more enemies are targeting him. And this will have to do for the rest of the stage, probably. I really want to buy this Maokai, but I don't want to go under 10 gold for it. So I can either get... I have a pretty strong board, so I could try to use Steamroll, but it's a little risky. I don't think this board is strong enough. So I'll go for the Kale just because it'll help me itemize my units appropriately. So let's see. I can either make a Gunblade or a Giant Slayer. I'll go for the Giant Slayer. Just because I have decent tank items already, so I don't really need the healing. Maybe, probably. I'll opt for having a little bit more combat power. Okay, so not good enough to win that, but This is still promising. I could choose to play 4 brawlers, but that's probably worse than just having the biomatter preserver. I would probably play the Gnar to enable Ezreal's sniper synergy here. This is probably the strongest board I can make right now. Now, these items aren't great. So, I'll just split these up between Panth and S. And hopefully I can find maybe a red buff for S and a Warmog or a Visage for Panth. Okay, I could use the dupes to guarantee a stronger board now. I don't really have good items for set, so I'm not even going to bother. And I'm a little weak right now, so when you have a weak board, but you have good items, going for some kind of econ augment is usually a good idea. Right, so I'm just going to use these to power up my board as much as I can. I'll hold on to this Frost and this Misfortune. Maybe I can use them to power up my board later. Getting a replicator to enable Pantheon would be ideal, so I can use Misfortune for that. And depending on how the game goes, I could play this Frost on when I hit level 7. So I have a decently strong board. I can either roll for Ezreal, or I could level. play the Misfortune. I'm going to opt for waiting just a little bit and save up some interest. And try to find Ezreal without losing too much interest here. I'll hold on to some of these replicators just in case. I'll take the item. It will turn into an anvil. And whatever item I grab here will also turn into an anvil, so I'll take that Rost and see. Hold on to that. Let's see if I can finally hit some ideal items. I could do the Sunfire Cape. It's not the greatest burn item, but might do for now. Unfortunately, these items are pretty bad. So I'll just grab whatever for now. Hold on to it. Okay, so okay, you know what? This could be pretty good. Let me see if I can turn this into a decent build here. So the Ezreal was going to fall short as a carry, so I opted to sell him in favor of Karma, which isn't a great unit, not my favorite, but it's pretty decent with what I have going on now. Again, it's the best board I can make right now, so Since I have a 4-cost carry, and I want to try and find a Jin as soon as I can, the play here would be to hit level 8 as soon as possible with as much gold as I can. Trifecta's kind of useless here, so I don't have any 3-cost carries. Golden Gamble could be okay, but I don't really have any units for it. I need a combat augment is what I really need. So let's go ahead and do Soul. And I'll slam this on, let me slam it on Pike. And I can use that on Deathblade is probably the best item for Jin, statistically. You know, mathematically it's like the best item. So you could stack Deathblades on him and it's pretty strong, so I also could have just held on to the Anvil for now instead of committing to that, but it's okay, it'll do. So here I could also opt to get rid of the Time Breakers and the Psionics in favor of Darkstar. But I'm going to wait a little bit until I do that. No, I can't do that now without losing a bunch of combat power. My board would be too weak if I just sold them and played 4 Darkstars now. You know, weaker than it already is. Gosh, I want this Misfortune ship be so bad. I used to be a Misfortune 1-trick. I mean, technically I am. So, I see Misfortune, I take it. Unfortunately, I don't have nearly enough tokens to buy her. Or medals, whatever they're called. Anyway, what am I looking at here? Random to star 4 cost. This could be good. Oh, I lost the chance. Actually, I think I got it. Alright, let's take the Kaisa. Let's try to go into maybe some kind of Darkstar build. Oh, I ended up getting the Kayla one. Okay, that's fine. It's not terrible. At this point, I need to level and roll. See, I'm taking too long. I think I should have gone for level 8 sooner. And gone for a Karma 2 earlier. And I would have saved myself... I could have won this with Karma 2, for example. So I could have saved myself some health. So let's just go for it now. Let's hold on to this. Sadly, this is really my best tank. I don't have any Vex items, so it's useless. Okay. Well, maybe I could have kept her, but it's okay. It's fine. I'm going to take all this gold, just so I can make sure I find the Karma 2 without falling behind too much on gold. Okay, here's Jin. Let's put you in here. Maybe maybe it's time I do this. Okay, hold on. I found Morg a little bit too late. Ross is no longer very good, so let's swap him out for Morg. And I'm still looking for Karma 2, unfortunately. This is probably better, so I can buff the whole team here. Okay. Okay. See, so I lost this game because I didn't level up and roll for Karma sooner. It's pretty simple. Okay, so I could just play this here. So let's see if I can find her. Okay, so there she is. This might not be good enough though. Let's see. Oh yeah. Alright. Okay. Fifth, well, that's still a little bit better than last game. Alright. So I need to make sure, so by stage 4-2, people have their strongest, people usually have their endgame board already in place, and they're rolling down for either their 3-star, 2 or 3 cost unit, or they're rolling down for in order to 2-star their 4 cost units. So at the very least, by stage 4-2, you should have an idea. You should already have your final board in place, and that's when you roll down to power up your units. And the reason I lost there is because I lost way too much. I rolled down for my 4 cost units way too late. I rolled down for my carries way too late. I didn't have my endgame board already in place for me to roll down, so I need to make up my mind about how I want my board to look by then, and I need to not hesitate and roll down to power up my units by 4-2. Okay, so make sure your board is as strong as possible by 4-2, because that's probably how your board is going to look for the rest of the game. Let's see, so I have Lulu start is really strong, since I can go for an early Stargazer build of some sort, or an early 4 replicator build, which is pretty decent as well. So let's hold on to all of these. I already have 3 replicators. But it's also, the Stargazer chart is the mountain, which means ideally I just go for Stargazers early on. Hopefully I can find Talon, Jax immediately. Okay. I can make another Steadfast Heart, so I'm just going to double down on this. I'll play Talon. So I need a tank, so I guess I could, well, I guess I can't use this Kate yet. So let's do something like this for now. So this is a pretty strong start. Let's see. This is just a better tank, so let's just swap him in. I don't know about you, but I'm getting hungry already. I'm going to secure this win streak and I'm just going to play this path. And we get the Brawler and Replicator synergies going. This Nessus is kind of useless, so I guess I didn't need to pre-sell. If I win, I get a gold, so I could have bought the unit then, but it's fine. I don't think I was going to use that unit anyway. Okay. See, I got an extra gold there just for winning. Looks like this guy's going Stargazers too. And this guy as well. But it's fine, since you get a bunch of emblems, you can flex, and there's so many different comps you can make using the Stargazer emblems. Here's a Jack, so let's take it. And the helm. Honestly, I kind of just want to give this to Lou. Rather than Mao. Now this is interesting. Holy quack, okay. Holy guacamole, dude. Hmm. Okay, well. Hmm. She's just much stronger, so let's just do that for now. Do I really want this? I might just see if I can find some good items for Saya and stuff. I guess it's kind of risky. I should just... That's fine. Let's just throw it on there. I can just flex in whatever using the Stargazer emblem, so it doesn't hurt to slam. Doesn't hurt to slam. Okay, I'm gonna take the Ari boon. I need the gold anyway. And this way I can, depending on how the game goes, I can decide. I have until 4-4 to decide whether I want to lock in Kale or Ari as my goddess. So, let's see. So it keeps the board flexible. It keeps my win conditions flexible. I have a good feeling it's going to be Ari because I already have good items, and Ari will help me get to level 9 faster, which means I could possibly do a Stargazer Jin build. Oh, so fortunate. Gosh. She's such a good unit, she's so strong. Let's see. Let me just level here. It's pretty bad that my front line is so weak, but let's see how this holds up. Oh, I messed up. Yeah, I messed up. I only need to have 2 units on my first row. I might end up losing just because of that. Yeah, this Riven is just gonna eat me up. Oh wait, maybe not. Alright. Saved by the bell. Okay. This is pretty good. I think that's that for my tank items. And I have a Rage Blade here. For whenever I manage to find a Saya. So now I just want to get level 8. Hopefully I get a good econ augment, and I can level and roll for my units without delay this time. Let's use this. It has to be an econ augment. Fortunately, I can't find one. So let's take this instead. I don't think I level here yet. Wow. I had the same idea I had, huh? I mean, makes sense. It's a pretty straightforward path. And he has really good items for it. Grr. Okay. I messed that up, but it's okay. It's okay, it's okay. Well, it has to be Kale, because her boon is better here. Okay. Okay, yeah. I sold those because I want to get back to 50 gold as soon as I can. I'm already winning, so I'm not super worried about, you know. I don't have to be super worried about my health yet. But if I can keep this win streak going as much as possible, hold on, I need to think about this for a moment. But I'm going to take these because ideally I find I get a Let me move some of these items around too. Hold on. Wait, I need to think about this for a moment. So we have that. Right, so I have burn, I have shred, and I'm mostly magic damage right for now. I have a decent front line. So best case scenario, I get two more emblems, and I throw in 2 more dark stars. Or I get... oh, there's no way I can hit 11. I'd have to pull up... I'd have to pull a Tactician's Crown out of my ass to see this 11 Stargazer synergy, which would be really cool actually. I'm guessing it's one of those... I'm guessing it's like the crew, or was it 5 crew? You had a 3-star TF and it basically ended the game immediately and you just won. You just killed everyone with a... you just nuked, literally threw a nuke on everyone. And you just won the game instantly. I get the feeling it's something like that, but I don't want to look it up on YouTube yet. So maybe I get the chance to see it. Alright, so this guy has 1 Nunu, 3 Nunus. So I really want to go for Nunu, but I also really want to level. So I'm trying to decide whether I roll for Nunu now or if I wait. I guess I just keep going as is until I lose, and then if I start losing, then I start rolling for Nunu to try and stop the loss streak. Oh yeah, this... I guess that answers that, huh? Guess that answers that. This could be good on a Jin if I find one. Right, so should I roll for the Nunu, I guess is the question here. I'm not sure I want to do that yet. I could also slow roll above 50 or 40 gold. For what, like Karma 3? This guy already has 3 Karmas. So, yeah, so here I'm not quite sure. This would be a good time to get some coaching. Leveling is too expensive anyway, so I guess the question is, should I just be rolling down to find Nunu 2? I would have lost this even if I had Nunu. Alright, this particular fight I would have lost anyway. Okay, but now I definitely have to make up my mind, since I don't have much. I don't even have anyone to put this on. I guess you can start flexing in some different units here. Talon is kind of useless anyway. I could play into Vanguards, and I can play into Dark Stars. So I'm going to level. I'm going to try and find a Jin. This could be good too. Okay. Let's play you. Yeah, sure. Okay. So I guess I could play this. It's really awkward though, the positioning. It's extremely awkward. Oh man. It was one cast away, dude, from the karma just deleting his board. Alright. Hey, well, that's still better than... We're getting better. Getting back to it. Getting back in the groove. Getting back in the space groove of things. Let's see what time it is. Alright, so maybe I got time for one more. And hopefully I can keep the same tempo going. Yeah, it would be good. It would be cool to hit top two. Let's see. Hmm. Interesting. Oh, they buffed this. That's kind of crazy. So I think this is crazy good already. Can't complain, I guess. Let's see. Okay. Emblems are good. Worst case scenario, you get an item. Best case scenario, you break the game. And you do some really cool, fun stuff. So, taking emblems is usually ends up being pretty good and fun. This is good on Talon, so we start with that. It's a lot of cool stuff we can do with that. Hmm. Thanks a lot, actually. Ideal. Ideal, in fact. Hmm. Hmm. Oh wait, what am I doing? What am I doing? That's fine. I wasted a remover there. She's already a challenger. Okay, so since I have misfits, I need a good econ augment here, hopefully. This isn't exactly a good econ augment, but it might have to do. Oh, it's so bad. It's really risky because my board isn't very strong. So... And I really wanted to get level 9 because most unique units are tied to that. I'm gonna have to go with this. It's unfortunate. So I think I just have to get rid of the stargazers, unfortunately. They're just not very useful here. And I'll just play into misfits. We'll see, I'm thinking about it. This board is really weak. Yeah, actually I guess I keep these for now, maybe. I'm not sure if I should roll. Let me see something. No, I guess actually maybe the stargazers are the way. Okay. Okay, I think I see the vision now. I'm not sure if it's going to be good enough, but I think I see how to get this done. Hopefully, maybe. Okay. Let's go for this. I'm getting rid of you. Play this here. Yeah, no, I think I have to level. I kind of fumbled this one. Because I couldn't find a good econ augment. So I might chalk this one up to just bad RNG here. Of course, you usually want to get an econ augment early in the game, so that I could also just say that's my bad for not choosing optimal augments in the first place. It's always something I could have done better. That's the correct mindset to have. Yeah. Alright, well, it's not great. It'll have to do. It didn't do. Yeah. Fudge. Hmm. Yeah, that might be GG. Susan is looking a little too strong. Unfortunate. Man, feels bad. Alright, should I keep going? This game felt kinda... I don't know, it feels really bad. I think... Oh, the game was made all that time, huh? Well, that sucks. Right, so I guess that's another reason to play one more game. Let me think about it. Should I do one more? I'm thinking about it. I thought about it. I fumbled the ball on that one. I need to keep it simple. I don't know what it is about this set that I found it so much harder than the last one. So last set I got to Emerald pretty quickly, but this one, it's been a struggle. I stopped playing for a while because I got a little, you know, I was bummed out, and I still can't figure out if it's just that I'm missing something, or if maybe I really am just playing. I'm just not playing correctly anymore. Maybe it's that simple, right? Okay. Maybe it really is that simple. Maybe it's a skill issue after all, like usual. Okay. These are really good. Just go for that. It makes my board stronger right away. And it gives me loot as the game goes on, so doesn't get much better than that. Good for so dramatic. Well, doesn't get much better than this. I think this is a waste. Just keep the win streak going, I guess. If at all possible. Well then, so much for that. Hmm. Okay, so I really want to hit Cho 3, so that gives me 2 duplicators to use for him. I'm taking this Gnar just so I can make a guard breaker for Kaisa. That'll give her 100% crit and a bunch of damage amp. Oh, this is good. Guess we'll play that as well. And now I'll roll for Cho. Hopefully it doesn't take me too long to find them. Not sure if I want to keep this. So I'll keep it for now. Okay. Just need one more. I don't need that. Okay. Well, doesn't get much better than that. Doesn't get much better than that. Guess I level, play the S. Yeah, this is pretty OP. And then I guess I... Is this better? No, I don't think so. Maybe spend items here. Probably just cruise control all the way to level 9, I guess. I'm kind of a fan of this in this situation. Actually, maybe let's do this instead. Yeah, pretty good. That's it. Just play this comp, 6 Stark Star, 3 Timebreakers. And GG, if I don't get top 4, I'll be really surprised. Anything can happen, I guess. Oh, well, the beginning of the end. Ah, yeah. Man. Okay. Doesn't get much better than that. Just trying to find Kaisa. I guess that was dumb. I shouldn't have wasted that much gold. I'm already so strong. So yeah, so normally for my third augment I would have picked an econ augment because I don't have one. But since my board was already so strong, and I have so many 3-star units, Lucky Gloves pretty much ensures that all my units have good items. Alright, it pretty much ensures that I'm going to make it through the next to stage 4 and 5 alive and probably win a lot of these fights. And then I can have Kaisa carry my best items until I find a 2-star Jin. And at this rate I get the feeling that this whole lobby is going to die before I make it to level 9. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, so here I want to try and find as many thieves gloves as I can. So I'm going to try, I guess I could either get gold or I could try to find some more sparing gloves. I'm a dumbass, so I might just go, let's try to find some gloves. Let me see, can I find one here? Okay, so I just need one more glove here. Let's just take that. And then let's move some items around. So we can give you some gloves. You get a glove. You get a glove. You get a glove, and you get a glove. Everyone gets a glove. You get a web, and you get a web, and you get a web. You get a glove, and you get a glove, and you get a glove. Okay, that's fine. It's okay. I don't expect to win everything. I don't expect to win them all, but I just need to be strong enough to get level 9. And hopefully that turns into a win. Let's see. Good enough. Humble third. Or is it?
So long as this bow remains, I live.
Hmm. Hmm. Could this be better on her? Maybe it is. Oh, let's waste them. I may have been a mistake. Alright. Humble second. Alright. It's been a pleasure. Yours, as well as mine. Thanks for watching. I might just go make some popcorn and watch a movie or something. And fall asleep. Thinking about you. All of you. Maybe that was too corny. Sorry. Anyway, it's been good. That was fun. I made some progress. Maybe I'll get Emerald within a week. Maybe the next session I'll be good enough to get Emerald again. I'll be happy if I get at least Emerald on this set, because honestly, this set has been pretty... It was cool, but I don't know. It's something. Maybe it's something about every TFT set that after you've been playing it for a while, you kind of start missing the old set. But then as soon as the new set hits, you start missing the old one. Maybe everyone just feels like that at some point. Maybe it's just time for a change, you know? Change is good sometimes. I hate change. But sometimes change is for the better. You can only push down that if there's something inside you're trying to break out, you can only push it down so much before it tries to break out. So maybe that's what's happening. Or maybe I'm just bored. Or maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe it's time for something big to happen. You know? Maybe stagnation is what's really holding me back. Just think about that. In what aspect of your life do you feel stagnant? And if you're like me and you hate change, if you're honest with yourself, do you think maybe it's time that you broke through that and you changed for the better? who knows? Anyway, thanks for watching and have a good night. Buenas noches. Bonne nuit. Arrivederci.